Good morning. Happy New Year. This is the Formless Podcast, episode number 34. I'm Dustin, joined here again with Tyler, the Superhuman.
I'm here.
Yeah, how you
Happy
doing?
New Year.
Happy New Year. We were talking earlier before we started about how far we've made this work and how far it's come, and having people come up and say like, hey, I heard your podcast, sounds good and stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
I trip out over that every time it happens, you know. I mean, it's exciting, it's cool, but it's like, wow, you know, and like we were talking earlier, I fully expected this to go like 4 or 5 episodes and like be done, you know, and it's continued to go, and like I find myself thinking about like, oh, hey, we could talk about this or we could talk about that,
right?
Or we haven't talked about this yet, you know, and it's awesome, and I haven't ran out of things to talk about, you know.
No, I think we're just getting started.
Yeah. We managed 33 in the last year, and I'd like to do at least that many again this year.
You know? All right, yeah. And today is the new year.
Yeah, today is January 1st. It's like 10:30 in the morning. Started we talked on the last episode a little bit about the DEF reset, which is Discipline Equals Freedom reset. Started on January 1st. So I started with that. I woke up nice and early and got rocking and rolling and exercising. And
what time did you get up?
4:30.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah, 4:30.
You started at 4:30.
4:30 in the morning. I didn't work out right away. I don't normally like wake up and start a workout right away. I can't. I wake up and I get everything ready. Like I make the coffee, I feed the fish, I make sure the dog's got food. I make my wife a cup of coffee or get it ready to like get her set up for when she wakes up. Because like she wakes up and it's like, don't talk to her. Like she wakes up hard. So she's got to gradually get into that awake mode. So I humbly and readily, with my mouth closed, give her a warm cup of coffee, and then she can become brightened and smile and do all of those things.
That's the morning routine.
That's the morning routine. I get all that stuff ready, and then generally, like on work days, I'll go to work, and I have my kettlebell at work, and I'll do a workout at work. And then like start the day
on like a 10-minute break or something.
No, like I get to work early.
On the
like,
clock.
No.
You're kidding. I'm kidding.
I get to work early, like half hour early. Try to, and I'll swing the kettlebell at work. While like the computer's getting booted up, and you know, before the phones start ringing and stuff like that. And
kinda
then
ease your way.
Yeah, and it just depends. Sometimes like. If I'm running a little bit behind, I'll do a workout on like the 10-minute break or something like that. But for the most part, if everything's running smoothly, by like 7:30, I'm swinging the bell and doing whatever else I was going to do. But go ahead.
I was going to say that morning routines are. Those are a good thing.
Yeah,
I got one friend of mine. He talks about how he'll get to work about an hour early, and then he'll have his energy drink and maybe have a smoke and surf on his phone, but he gets there an hour early. I'm like, I would get there 15 minutes early and do that. I wouldn't get to work an hour early. But hey, everyone's got their routines. You know?
Yeah.
So if it works for you,
4:30
is pretty early. Dark 30.
Dark 30, is that what that's called?
0 dark 30.
Yeah. So I never used to be able to sleep very good. And it took me a long time to fall asleep, or I'd fall asleep, but I'd wake up 2 or 3 times during the night. I always had that problem. I just always felt tired. On a lark, I never had problems waking up for like, hey, we're going to go on a hunting trip tomorrow.
Right.
I'll wake up whatever time you want. Let's go. You know, or we're going to take a trip and go somewhere. Let's wake up early and get that driving out of the way. You know, that's not a problem. When I was a kid, waking up for school was horrendous.
It was a nightmare.
Never could do it. And part of the reason why is because it took me so long to fall asleep. And so on a lark, I tried this thing. So I listened to somebody, some interview where a guy was like, if you don't go to bed tired, there's no point. Like, you should go to bed and be tired.
Huh.
So I was like, okay, that made sense to me. And then I was, before I knew who Jocko was, I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast where they were talking about Jocko Willink. And the guy's like, yeah, if you look at his Instagram or his Twitter, it's all photos of his watch at 4:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no way, nobody does that. And sure enough, I look him up and it's like photo after photo of his watch, and then maybe a photo of like a sweaty workout mat where he did his exercise for the day or whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. Just see what happens. I'll give it a shot for a week and see how it happens. See if this works. See if I can actually sleep through the night. Dude, by the second or third day, like by the time it was bedtime, I was exhausted.
Really?
I was tired. It was ready for, I was ready for bed. And now I can fall asleep within probably 10 or 15 minutes, my head hitting the pillow.
Really?
So I've been doing it for a couple years now. It works for me. I used to just do it Monday through Friday. And then I would sleep
on the weekends.
I'd sleep in on the weekends and like sleep till like 6 or 7. Which
sleeping in.
That's 2.5 hours or 3 hours. That's a good chunk of time. This morning, Sunday, I woke up at 4:30 because I want to go to San Diego. I want to win this contest.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it my best.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So the grand prize is apparently you go to San Diego, you get to tour the Jocko studios where they record their podcast, and you get to train at Victory MMA, which is his gym that he owns, and they do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA and a bunch of other stuff. So that's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's where all compasses are pointing right now.
And it's 30 days?
What's the month of January? What's that? 31 days?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a calendar here, and I'm not looking at my phone. I'm just for the next 31 days, I'm going to be on this like a rabid dog. So
that's cool.
That's the goal for this year.
And you're going to keep us updated on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated on the podcast and on social media. So check it out.
So everyone keep up on Facebook. Keep looking at Dustin's postings.
Yeah. So we'll see. There's a lot of people. Last year I thought I had a pretty good chance and I didn't come close. This year there's even more people, and there's a little bit of difference in the rules and stuff as far as what to tag and who to post to and what to go on. So I'll give it my best shot and see what happens.
Well, that's really kind of in line with what I've been going on with New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And New Year's, I know it's a real cliche. We talk about New Year's resolutions. And yesterday I was on a hunting trip with some friends, and I asked them about their New Year's resolutions while we were cooking breakfast, like bacon for breakfast.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what are your guys' like New Year's resolutions? Like, do you guys have any? And my one friend is, a little bit, he's a year older than me, 38, and then one's a year younger. So he's 36. And I'm like, oh, like, these guys will have some some cool New Year's resolutions. Yeah. It's cliche. And they were like, nah, we don't got any. We don't got any. And I was like, that's so funny, because this year, out of all the years of my life, like this year, I've actually said, like, I want to have these New Year's, quote unquote, New Year's resolutions,
Yeah.
And I want to have things to go after. And so, not to say that I haven't done that before, but just like this year, even really go for it even more. Yeah. So that's
Make
cool.
It count.
Make it count. So like you're doing the discipline equals freedom. This contest, or what would you call it?
I guess it's a contest. Yeah, it's a contest.
And that's really cool, because you're like, I want to win and I want to go after it. And like that's my currency right there. Like right now, my currency I deal in is people that want to go after stuff like that. That's like, you want it.
It would be sweet. Yeah. It'd be a cool idea. And Do I think I'm going to win?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the rules. I know what I have to do and what they want, but I don't know like the criteria for what they're. I haven't like studied I haven't pulled out the legal disclaimer and like read it and tried to game away. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just doing what they've asked to do, and if I win, that would be amazing, and I would be stoked. And I'll drive the Dream Crusher to San Diego and rock and roll. As a kid, I always like, New Year's. I was like almost as excited for New Year's as I was for Christmas as a kid. And
did your parents give you gifts on New Year's Day?
No. I just was like, like a new tomorrow or a new beginning, or it was a thing. Like when I was growing up, we would always go to like people's parties and for New Year's, and it was a big thing. It was like an event, and I never really lost that, except for I just didn't party and I didn't stay up now as an adult. I'm like, whatever. It's another day. It's just a reversal. The calendar starts over. It's still important to me because like I try now to think of every day as like a blank page. Mm-hmm. If I made a mistake, that's good, yeah. If I made a mistake yesterday, now's the day to fix it.
Not 2 weeks
from now, or not dwell on it and kick the dirt and be complaining about the fact that I screwed up yesterday. Today's a blank slate. I'm going to start over again, that kind of thing. So in that sense, like that's what I think about as far as New Year's, like new slate. I'm going to focus on improvement. I'm going to try and not make the same mistakes I made over the previous year. And so like that's what I'm excited about. Like that whole idea again is cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah. So as far as like having a list or like a set of goals, I really don't. I have overarching or over goals over like the lifetime, but like in 30 days, do I want to like have a certain amount of money or a new car or that kind of thing? Not really. But like in 31 days, I have one. And that's this reset thing. So
that's good.
Yeah.
And like every day being your blank slate, that's the equivalent of like what Bruce Lee was saying of empty your cup.
Yeah.
Empty your cup. So.
Start over. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's great, and that's what I think everyone needs to do this year is like go after something, like really get after it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so much negativity right now. You look at the news, and I try not to watch the news because it's all terrible.
Really?
I mean, if you believed everything you watched, it would just, because it sucks. Everything's, there's always some calamity going on, and it's like, my brain will generate enough negative thought. I don't need any help. So
I don't need extra. I don't need extra shoveled in.
Yeah, I don't need any extra input there. So I try to avoid it as much as I can. And it's like, if I put good stuff in there, or I attempt to try and put enough good stuff in there, I don't need to worry about negative stuff slipping in.
Right.
Right, yeah. At least that's my thought process now. And I do try and follow up with like current events and read up on news and stuff, but I have to do it in very controlled, like I have to consciously like, okay, I'm going to read this article, or I'm going to watch this news segment, and then I'm going to do something else. Because otherwise, I'll look at my watch and like 4 hours have been gone by, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, did you hear about what happened in Cairo or you know what I mean? I'll just be insane. Have you seen the meme where the guy's smoking and he's got like this wall with all these pictures and like diagrams and yarn, like stringing, he's like tying this huge project together, it's a meme, and it's I've seen a dozen of them, but he's like trying to explain some theory
Okay.
You know, and he's like, and there's this picture, and then this picture ties to this picture, and this picture ties to this one, and so string theory is this, you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Fun. I've seen a couple of memes like kind of similar ones. Like
yeah. But no, that I mean, your buddies, back to your hunting trip. Your buddies didn't have any goals. Didn't have anything for New Year's.
In that moment when I asked them, they didn't, and I was kind of I was just like, oh, okay, like, you know, I mean, everyone has their own goals, even if their goal is to not have a goal. That's that. Everyone, you know, but I was like, oh, like I've really like it's almost came natural to me, like this just in the last couple of weeks, thinking of like the new year and just like you're right, it's a reset.
Yeah,
it's a way to like in the same way that yesterday was a blank slate. Well, this year is a blank slate.
Yeah,
as compared to last year, same thing as yesterday was yesterday, and today is a blank slate. You know, so but what they I could see that when I had asked them, you know, they started.
You got the gears running.
I got the gears rolling on them, on thinking about what they wanted. And a couple minutes later, one of my buddies, he said something like, I know it was some joke, but it was something. It was a start. Like he was starting thinking, like he made a joke about like what he was going to do for the new year, and it was something outrageous. And but obviously he wasn't going to do it. But it was, and honestly, I can't remember what it was, but.
You got him thinking about it.
The gears were going. Yeah. The gears were going. And so, what do you guys? What is your guys' New Year's resolutions? What do you guys want to do?
What are you working on?
Listeners, you got to send us an email or a message on Facebook, you know, and tell us.
For sure. What do you got, Tyler?
What am I?
Because I mean, you brought up the conversation with your buddies, so I'm sure you're working on something.
Oh yeah, I totally. So yeah, I mean, this year, my friend and I, we decided that we are going to move ahead and make our movie this year because we're going to make a movie, a feature
Another
film.
movie?
Yeah, like it's going to be the one that we wrote. Like I've been working on other movie sets and other projects. But this one, my friend and I have been the road trip comedy script. We've been trying to get funded and raise funding, and we haven't successfully got enough yet to make it on a big budget. And so we're just going to do it low budget, and we're going to make a feature, a feature film. And so I'm going to star in it. My buddy's going to star in it and direct it, and and we're going to film it in the area. And so. We decided rather than sit and wait and try to find, like we're going to keep looking for investors and trying to find somebody willing to or multiple people or companies willing to invest in the film. And there's so much that you have to go into with investors and them investing in something, and they, you know, a lot of them want to see numbers and how much are they paying out and how much do they think they're going to get back. And so there's that whole side of it. And so that's a challenge. But I was just like, I told my friend one day in December, I was like, dude, we got to just make our movie. Like we can't be waiting on other people to raise the funding over here. Like we've just got to do it with the money. We've raised a little bit of money. Yeah. And so we're going to make the movie. We're going to try to make the movie on the money we have. Yeah. And we're just going to go for it. And I was just like, yeah, that was kind of like one of my New Year's things, like leading up in December into this new year, is just thinking about going after it, like getting after it, going like your contest, you know, like going after and getting that, and like what I was saying with my friend, like we're just gonna get after it, and we're gonna get a cast together and get a crew together and go for it, props and locations, and we're just gonna make our movie, and that's cool. Yeah, so, right on. So I think that is really something that everyone should be thinking about, is what do they want to get after, you know, right now. I mean, you should really already have it figured out, you know, we're in the new year, but, you know, you can...
that's awesome. That's really admirable, because, like, why wait?
Why wait?
You know, you never know what could happen tomorrow. You don't know what could happen this afternoon.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously you've got to make sure you've got the resources and people to do something or whatever you want to do something. You've got to have money to do stuff, or you've got to have the drive or the skill. So we're just going for it, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna get all that. We're gonna get all the people and the locations, and we've just been we wrote the movie script.
So yeah, that's all done
3 years ago. And we've been kind of polishing it, actually almost 3.5 years ago. And we've been polishing it and kind of getting it more ready. And now we're doing a really big polish, like to rewrite some of the dialogue and some of the scenes. And we're doing that. And then...
and the short's funny. I seen the short.
The short is funny. Yeah, you're in the short.
Yeah. And my wife.
Yeah, you guys are in the short.
It's really good. And...
So we're going, we are just going, and we're not going to wait on anybody else. And like, we're waiting. Well, no, we got to wait on someone to write a check for us. And then you could follow that down the rabbit hole. Well, how much does this movie have to cost?
Exactly. Are you making Avatar or are you making like Clerks?
Exactly. Yeah. Are we making Avatar or Clerks? Yeah. And so I told my friend, I said, look, man, I said, I kind of said it like that. I said, what is this? We had our film budgeted out by a professional. Like a professional looked at a script and said, this is how much this is going to cost. And it was somewhere around $500,000. And I was like, well, what's this? We're going after this $500,000. It was closer to $600,000. But we're going after the $600,000. We're trying to get investors to write a check for this. And nobody is, or very few people are, I should say. And so my friend and I started talking, well, okay, if we're not going to do it for $600,000, what can we do? Like, can we do it for $100,000? And then we're trying to aim to raise $100,000 from investors. And then he was stuck on we're doing $100,000. And I was like, then I came to the realization, we originally thought we were going to do it for $600,000. Now we thought we were going to do it for $100,000. Yeah. And then, but like I told my friend, I was like, what's this nebulous number of how much out in the ether that we're going to make this movie for? Like, we determine that, and like we make the movie ourselves. Yeah. And we can budget it accordingly. Obviously, it's hard to make it for free, and it's hard to make it with $100 million, because you got to get the $100 million. But in between that, we can make things happen with what the resources and the money we've got. And I just told my friend, I was like, what is that amount that's out there that you have, that once we raise that a certain amount of money, then we're good. We can now make the movie. It'll almost like flips a switch in your mind and says, okay, now I feel good that I can do this. And so my friend did not have an answer on that. And I was like, exactly. So we can do it for whatever we want, or whatever we have, the amount of money we have, and let's just go after it. Let's do it. And so that's what we're doing. Yeah, we're moving forward. I mean, we are moving.
Right on.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of people, man, I just wish I want to see a lot more people doing that. Going after that. Because it makes them happy. Like, you're all excited about the deaf reset, the discipline equals freedom reset, and you're all into it, and you're all excited. Like, that's what everybody needs to have.
Yeah, well, you need fuel.
You need fuel. Fuel, that's a good way to put it.
You need something to fire you up. And really going through this right now with Tom, my youngest. Mm-hmm. He cannot stand to lose or fail. Yeah. And being the youngest brother by 5-6 years, 6 and 8 years, he loses a lot. He wants to play games, he wants to do stuff, but he just doesn't have that physical. For one, he's half the size of his brothers, and they entertain him and they'll play with him and they'll play games with him and stuff, but he's got this desire to win, and if he's not scoring points or if he's not winning, he's just, oh man, it
bugs him.
He gets pissed. He just gets pissed off. He's rage quit quite a bit lately, and I think a lot of people just, it's an ego thing. You don't want to get that hit. It hurts, and I try to explain to him and try and get it through to an 8-year-old that it's okay, you know, to lose. Yeah, you got a learning process going on here. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn what not to do next time. You're going to learn. You're going to learn that this, you know, does or doesn't work one way or the other. And like the other night we were playing chess. He just learned a little bit of how to play chess, and so. He was telling me he's got the strategy and everything, and the first game we got into playing, he was telling me he was gonna, you know, I'm gonna whoop you. He talks big. I'm gonna crush you, Dad. Or I'm gonna, really? Oh yeah. He talks trash like you can't believe he talks trash. But when it doesn't go his way, oh, forget it. I quit. You know, or this sucks, you know, or whatever. And so the first game, you know, I was trying to give him some pointers and help him out. And like, okay, no, that piece doesn't move this way. You got to move it like this, or you know, because I don't know. You played chess before,
yeah.
And oh, Dad, shut up! You don't know what you're talking about, you know. Or, you know, not like that, but you know, he started getting mad. He quit. So then I got him to calm down, brought him back out, reset the board up. And I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play, and if I start winning, we're going to switch sides. So we'll switch the board, and I'll play your pieces, and you're going to play mine.
Oh, wow.
Okay? I said, this is going to do two things. This is going to give you a different angle to see the board. So you're going to see the moves that I was making. You're going to see the moves that you were making. And you're going to have the advantage again if I'm winning, if we switch. So we get about halfway through the game and we switch sides. He didn't want to do this at first.
That is okay.
He didn't want to do it at first at all. But then once we swapped and he saw that he had more pieces, he was all game again because he was winning, right? And so we get through it and I'm like, okay, look. And he started moving a bad move. I'm like, hey, think about this. Do you want to move there? Well, why not? I'm like, okay, well, look at the other pieces around you. If you move this piece, I don't remember what it was. It might have been his bishop or his rook. I can't remember. But like, if you move that there, what do you think I'm going to do next? Oh, can I take that back? You know. So there's that.
You saw that.
Yeah. He was able to look at it from a different perspective.
From a different perspective.
And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Play chess that way. I think I've heard of that before. That's like is that kind of like a thing? Like I switch the board?
I don't know. I think it is. I don't know where I got that from. It must have been some help chess like site or something like that, or learn to play chess site or something. I don't remember. But I just wanted to give him an opportunity. Like I was trying to keep him from quitting. I wanted him to see it through to the end, win, lose, or draw. Really focusing right now on trying to teach him how to lose gracefully, but also not to look at it as I lost. Like I want him to really look at it like, okay, what can I learn from this? Yeah. Try and flip that on its head a little bit. And it's tough with a stubborn 8-year-old. That's a tough thing to do because he's always got to come back. And he's always like, I'm like,
he's always got.
He's always like, oh yeah, and I don't argue very well. Like I don't like to argue, and so I'm just like, whatever, kid. You know, you got it, bud. You know, whatever. Yeah,
I couldn't tell. You've had some pretty good zingers in class.
Well, I do. I'm a smart ass.
Yeah,
but like, but I don't mean anything by it.
Right.
Like I talk, but I don't mean anything like vicious, and I don't like to argue. Like I don't know, it's just not a thing that I do. Like I know people like Tom, my wife, like they can argue. They can argue their point. They can like they know how to do that well. And that's not something I do. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Okay.
Like, I'd much rather do anything else than to argue a topic with somebody. Like to discuss something, like we can talk about different points of view, like that's okay. But like just to like debate it, I don't know. I'm not trying to convince you to come to my side. Like here it is. This is what it is. If you like it, great. If you don't, okay, let's find something else to do. Like, whatever. You know, I don't need to convince you to think like I think. Like, that's I don't know. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But, so that's one of the things that we've been working on with him. But
and you know, it's so funny because people have to put in their time so like learning chess. Like in order to do that, you have to. It's almost like you have to learn what not to do, like you said. What not to do first, and then you learn what to do. Like, rarely do we learn exactly what to do right off the bat. It happens, you know, sometimes. Well, but it's
you know, like tying your shoe, right? You learn how to tie your shoe. You know all the ways how not to tie your shoe, but there's steps involved, and you have to do those steps in order to make your shoe tight. And you can try it all the other different ways, but to tie your shoes, there are a few things, you know, that have to be done first. It's not going to work any other way. And you know, some of those lessons are hard to learn. I'm sure you're finding that out with the movie. There's stuff that you don't even know what you're not supposed to do yet. Yeah. You know, and you find those out, and it's like, oh. And I think that the key to that is to make sure that those mistakes or those lessons that you learn don't cost you too much, either money or time or effort. Like you want to get those done and get them out of the way before you've spent a year on it, or before you spent $600,000 on it, right? Yeah. And then you're like, oh, we weren't supposed to do it this way. Yeah, that's a good one to try and explain
to the investors.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can only imagine. That's not a phone call you want to make.
Oh man. No, and a lot of times there's not, for whatever, getting a movie made or funded and made or whatever, sometimes there's just not a blueprint for how to do something. I mean, you've got to put in your time and do it and figure out what not to do, and then figure out what are those necessary steps you've got to do. Yeah. Like for tying your shoe, there's a couple things that have to be done.
Exactly.
No, but that's been like a real driving force for me, and it's almost just come naturally in the last like month. Is like, oh, boom, like really just go after things and make it happen. Like almost attack things. Yeah, you know, like attack those things you wanna pursue.
And like, you know, there's a risk involved, right? Oh, man. There's a huge risk involved.
In going after anything
that you do, and like, I used to think it was just, I don't know, like a feel good stuff. Like when people would be like, oh well, what happens if you fail? You know, well, look how far you've come, that kind of thing. And I used to think that was, I don't know, BS or whatever. But it's like, progress is progress. You know, and it's all in how you look at it. The Edison quote about the light bulb, where, you know, do you know how long it took him to make the light bulb? No. It was like 1,000 tries or 100 tries or something like that. Different patents and different prototypes, and you'd get to this stage and it wouldn't work. And when somebody had asked about it, like, hey, how did it feel? Something like to the effect of, how did it feel to fail like 100 times? And he's like, I didn't fail 100 times. I came up with 99 ways not to make the light bulb. Something to that effect. I can't remember the actual quote. I have heard
that. You did say that before. Yeah.
But
I found 99 ways not to make the light bulb.
Yeah. But it's all in your attitude. You know, like, okay, this sucks. I screwed this up, but like, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I still have all my limbs. Let's, you know, keep going. Which is easier said than done. It's never, you know, that's not easy. Eating crap's not easy.
Gosh, no.
You know.
What do you think? So Edison, he had, or what he said was, I found 99 ways not to make a light bulb, and 100, and then one way to do it. Yeah. So what do you think it is for a lot of people that they don't go after? I mean, resolution, or is it fear? Or they don't go after the death reset,
Yeah.
What is it? Fear? Is it laziness? Is it a lot of those things? Is it? I mean, what do you think holds anybody back?
It's hard.
And it's painful.
And sometimes it is painful. Sometimes it hurts bad. Sometimes it hurts the ego or the soul. And that's difficult. Facing that stuff sucks. But it sucks anyway, right?
Sucks anyway.
Life's hard.
Man.
Life's hard. So, would you rather sit and talk about how it sucks? Or would you rather at least try to do something even though it's going to suck? Mm-hmm. It all sucks. It all sucks. So do it.
And it's easy to sit around and talk about sucks.
Yeah. And I'm as guilty of that as anybody, It's hard to motivate yourself. But if you start simple, and this really came home to me the other day, in teaching, we changed the whole schedule around at the school, and we separated all the classes designated by rank. And at first, I didn't like this at all. I was like, this isn't going to work. This blah, 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 all these other reasons. And I kind of was like, I need to change my attitude. I need to just give it a try and see what happens and see how it's going to go before I just shoot it down.
Yeah.
Which is my normal reaction to any kind of change that puts me out. This sucks. I don't like it.
Yeah, shoot it down. Complain.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, you got to give it the college try. You got to give it a chance before you bitch and moan.
Right.
At least give it an honest effort and then complain. So go through this whole thing. And what I was looking at it for me, my perspective was I was going to have a lot more stuff crammed into the same amount of time. But what it did for the students is what was awesome. So we broke each student group down or each class down by ranks. And so they got focused attention for that 45 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever class length it is, on their stuff, what they're working on. So I knew it made it easier to plan out the day, for one. But for two, I was able to see loops, or not loops, deficit in where they're at, gaps. This group of kids really needs to work on this. And then my own son, Tom's with the blue belts and what they need to work on, And so we're one day, a couple weeks back, right around Thanksgiving, we're working on back kicks. And we have steps and things that we go through to teach them, and it just wasn't clicking for them. And it happened to me twice, actually. Happened with this group, with Tom's class, and then it happened with the adult class. And it was really weird. It was on the same technique, and they were both having the same, almost identical problem. And so I'm like, okay, how do I was struggling with trying to connect with them and stuff. And it's like, okay, we need to break this down. And they both were getting discouraged. It was just like, oh, this is hard. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Natural. And that's kind of like a natural expression.
Yeah.
Oh, this is hard. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, what we need to do then is break it down further, make it simpler. And it's going to sound stupid, but I want to make it so you can do the first part perfectly without thinking about it, and then we'll go to the next part. And I'm telling adults this, I'm telling kids this. It's easier to tell kids this because you're the adult, they'll listen.
Right.
For the most part. The adults are like, you want me to just spin around on my feet? And I'm like, yes. For right now, just go with it, okay? And I'm like, I'm going to give you a little confidence boost. Make sure that you can do this little tiny step right, and then we're going to go on to the next thing. It's only going to take us a minute. Just go with it. And I think when something becomes hard, or when there's a problem, and you can't think around that problem, like, okay, can I step back? Is there a way to make this first step that's hard a little bit easier for me? Mm-hmm. Instead of making one giant step, make 4 smaller steps, something like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, if I want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I really shouldn't stay up till 2:00 in the morning drinking and partying with my buddies, right? Like, I need to get to bed at an earlier time.
Uh-huh.
For me, I have to get tired to go to sleep. Like, I have to be physically tired. Otherwise, I'm going to lay in bed, toss and turn, and think about all the stuff that I'm going to do tomorrow or whatever, which will never happen because I won't get a good sleep and I'll be tired all day and grouchy and complain about everything. In order for that to happen, I need to make myself tired. I need to not sit on the couch and eat Doritos all day watching Netflix. Like, what can I do? Well, I can go for a walk. I'll walk the dog. I'll exercise. I'll go to the dojo. I'll train. I'll do these things. I'll physically exert myself and make myself tired. That's not a bad option, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't want to do all those things. Well, maybe I'll just walk the dog today, and then tomorrow I'll do. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of think about it and plan stuff out, and then maybe if that first step's too hard, break it down a little further.
Break it down.
I hate running. I don't like to run. So this morning I ran with the dog. Well, my dog's a puppy. And so my dog is like, he'll run.
Ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's got more energy than you know what to do with. But he doesn't run very long. He'll run and then he'll get distracted. He'll have to go pee on this bush or go sniff this rock or so I was like, okay, I can just run until he has to pee or smell a rock or see a bird, and then I'll stop and breathe. Okay, and then off to the races again. We ran. So I did wind sprints to the trail that we walked to. I made it about quarter of the way, half the way there, maybe somewhere in between. And it was great because I run full out and I've got him on the leash and he's pulling me because he can run way faster than I can, obviously. But just about the time where I think I'm okay, I'm going to have to stop because my lungs I can't hold this pace up. He stops and he's smelling this rock. And I'm okay, thank God. I'll catch my breath for a little bit and then off we went again, So it was that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to run that whole, I don't know how long it is, quarter mile, half mile to the trail. I'll walk it. I'll power walk it or whatever.
That's a good way of looking at it.
But I made this hard thing a little bit smaller, a little bit easier, and that helps me. That helps me to kind of figure things out.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think that'll help me out. That's just a different way of thinking about it. I'll think back to that. Oh, Dustin, and the puppy, and run in until the puppy stops to go pee on the bush or whatever.
Yeah, with that dog, it's that dog's crazy. He's got to smell all the rocks. By the way, how is your leg?
My leg's doing a lot better every day. I feel it getting stronger, and so I haven't yet got back to martial arts, obviously. Yeah, but it was October. It was the end of October, so we're at now 2 months. 2 months? Yeah, it's probably been 9-10 weeks since I broke my leg, and so still not on martial arts. I'm out of the boot. I can walk around. Still have a hard time with hills and slippery areas. Gotta go slow or not take a hill. And I just went on a hunting trip, but I didn't do much walking around. I had sat in one spot and called. You're coming to me. Thanks for asking. I'm getting around a lot better, and it's healing up and
right on.
Hopefully it is healed up more stronger in that area where I broke it.
Yeah.
As they say, where you break a bone, it heals up stronger.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. So, next couple weeks probably be back in?
I'm thinking for karate, for martial arts, I'm thinking sometime in January, probably more towards the end of this month. I think I'll be able to step back out on the mat and
get to it.
It'll just be real slow.
Well, you can always do our knees. No kicking there.
No kicking on our knees, but you still got to stand on your feet and move.
Which is hard.
But so it's just been a real nice, it's been a slow recovery, but we're getting there. And the crazy thing is I'm like, man, and it'll be good. I'm like gonna start out kind of almost as a white belt again, like having to learn it all, like relearn how to step and
but you've been taking notes, you've been watching, you'll be fine.
I think I'll be good. You're right.
But there, there'll be a little rust, I'm sure.
There'll be a little rust, and it'll be getting back in the groove of things, and I just look at it as emptying my cup.
Yeah,
it's like
you got a clean slate.
Huh?
You got a clean slate.
I got a clean slate. Yeah. So probably the end of this month or beginning of next month. But I'll be back in that and then going after it. And so
right on. Very cool. I think we're good there, right?
Yeah.
Got anything else? Any other news?
Nope.
Okay, friends. Happy New Year. This has been an adventure. I mean, we've been doing this for over a year now. It's fun. I look forward to every episode. I'm super excited to get it out there to you and let you give it a chance. Please, if you are listening to this on any of those podcasting platforms, please subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. If you have questions or comments, want us on your podcast, want to be a guest on our show, email us at theformlesspod@gmail.com. Send us a tweet on or at formless_the on the Twitter. We have a Facebook group called the Formless Podcast. It's an open group. You feel free to join in and see what we have to talk about there. And then, of course, the Instagram page, which is the most active of the three, Formless Podcast on Instagram. Also, we have a YouTube channel. Right now, it just has the episodes. We're working backwards. We have the episodes on the YouTube channel. It's just the audio. But eventually, we should record some video and punch and kick stuff.
We will. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, friends, check it out there. Thank you very much. Let this be the fire that lights for you. Get going. Have a good New Year.
Happy New Year.